Who gets rich and happy? First, I want to say why I care about this, right? And I care about these three parts. Who gets rich, aka that someone that doesn't start rich. Who gets rich, right? So I like money, it buys things, it pays people, right? So I don't just care about happy people who are not rich, aka if you are rich, you can pay people who are happy to do things, leverage, blah, 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 right? Many things. You can achieve more things in the world of bigger scale, right? And happy, right? Rich people who are unhappy, I don't care about what they are doing or how they get there. I care, but more in a I don't want to do that, right? And for this, I thought of these two archetypes, you could say. I thought of those who are useful and don't care how, and those who like what they do so they can do it a lot. The first archetype is this kind of stoic guy from social media, right? Who is like useful, but they doesn't really care about how they are useful, right? They pride themselves in being kind of duty in their sense of duty, right? They are dutiful or something like that. They are the people who say things like masculinity is about being useful, being a provider, blah, 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 right? So it's like just the sense of being a provider or something like that is good, right? And you usually see this online in this kind of archetype of social media guy who is kind of running this strange agency that you don't exactly know what the purpose of it is, right? But that because they get paid for it because it brings money, it's like they assign some kind of purpose or useful utility value to it and get some kind of benefit, internal benefit from it, right? This is more of a fulfillment type of happiness, maybe not straight up happy, but that is kind of the frame that they have. And I think it's an interesting type of archetype to think of. They are also selling you shit all the time, right? They are, because, I don't know, because if selling equals value for them, right, in their mind, then it's like the more they sell, the more value they have, and the more the value they have, the more useful they are. Some kind of thinking like this, right? They don't exactly care how. Not sure if they care a lot about what exactly they are selling, and they care more about the fact that it sells is what tells them something, right? That is the messaging, the fact that it sells. Also thinking of Alex Hormozzi, for example, right? There is some kind of person who is constantly kind of leveling up their business type of thing, right? The abstractions that they deal with. And I think it's an interesting type of person, right? It's not that he started because he liked gyms and all that, but once he got big enough in gyms, he leveled up the business part and centered on like making gyms, right? Instead of like personal training people, he leveled up to making gyms, like getting gyms started and getting subscriptions and getting gyms rolling. Then he started kind of selling the subscription part of the gym, like how to make gyms grow. Then he started with businesses, how to make business grow and how to make them level them up, right? This kind of thing. Interest. So it's like he's not exactly, he likes business, right? He likes this kind of thing. It's interesting. I think he also could belong a little bit to this second type, right? Those who like what they do so they can do it a lot, right? And in my mind, tech comes to mind, right? So those are the people who can stay longer. And in this market analogy, right, timing the market is better than timing the market as a general rule, right? As a general rule, it's not that timing the market is worse, right? It's that it's not a strategy versus spending time in the market is a strategy, right? You cannot predict that you will time the market correctly, but you can predict that you will be in the market. So if you like what you do, you can do it a lot, you can stay in the market. Therefore, yeah, you go into the next thing, which is luck, right? You favor your chances of getting a good bit of luck. And I put tech there because a lot of tech people are like this, I think, right? The people who get really rich in tech got lucky, of course, but they were also people who liked tech, right? Who were into it. And tech has a lot of people who actually like the tech that they work with and all this, right? They also don't like it in a way, but yeah, they spend a lot of time with it and thinking about it and dealing with it and all that. And I think Alex Hormozy belongs here a little bit because he likes business, right? It seems that he likes business. And that was my point, that these two types are not super distinct, but they are kind of two narratives that seem to... Yeah, these are kind of two narratives that seem to coexist, you could say, right? Sometimes overlapping, sometimes separate, sometimes dialoguing between each other or like battling between each other. And I thought it was interesting to, I guess, highlight the fact that these two narratives exist. And the next part that I wanted to mention is that luck is always involved. And the thing with that is that luck favors the prepared mind. So luck for the type 1, those who are useful and don't care how, these are usually people who are really focused on work, right? That's why I put Alex Hormozy there, because Alex Hormozy is really focused on hard work and all this type of shit, right? On doing more, 100 DMs, 100 blah, 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 right? 100 DMs per day, 100 cold calls per day, 100 volume, this kind of thing. So it's like luck has to catch you working. And I think number 2, people who like what they do, I think that is more of a discernment type rather than working type necessarily, right? It's like this is kind of a little bit of more luck. So for example, in the 4th type of luck, according to James Austin, chance, and creativity, add variability to trinkering, that would be kind of doing something repeatedly, volume. Then the thing that I associate more with the 2nd type of person who gets rich is kind of the discernment part, right? This is kind of when you have spent a lot of time, when you are prepared, when your mind is prepared, more than just doing it often, right? When you have some discernment, you can get a good luck and capitalize on it, right? So that is when timing becomes possible, right? You notice the timing opportunities once you have discernment. And for that, you need time. It's like time tells you timing, usually, right? Or like there is more predictability in that direction than in the other, right? It's like you cannot predict timing as easy versus the opposite, right? That is my point. That's it. That's what I wanted to say in this video. I may have some luck-related video that you can check out next, but if not, yeah, just watch something else that I made. I make random shit. Goodbye.